Hey, my name is Olly Richards, and in this video, I'm going to give you a behind-the-scenes look at Langua and all the different ways that Langua can help you learn languages. So there are many different learning modes here, but the feature that's creating the biggest buzz is the conversation practice tool. So the first thing I'm going to do is choose a conversation type. There are many different things to choose from practical role plays to vocab and games, but we're going to have a debate. And we're going to talk about, let's see, everyone should be vegan. And the first thing you're going to notice is that the AI characters will keep asking you intelligent questions to keep the conversation flowing. So should we all be vegan? Let's have a look.
Hola, ¿crees que todos deberían ser veganos? ¿Por qué sí o por qué no?
No, creo que todos deberían comer carne porque la carne es muy importante para la salud.
Entiendo tu punto. Algunas personas argumentan que hay otras formas de obtener los nutrientes esenciales sin comer carne. ¿Piensas que es posible tener una dieta balanceada siendo vegano? ¿Por qué?
And this is great if you are at a more advanced level, but if you are at a beginner level or an intermediate level, you might need a little bit of help. But Langua has plenty of tools that are available to help you understand what's going on. So the first thing we can do is click the translate button and get an instant translation here. So you're never going to be stuck and you're always going to be able to understand what's happening and continue the conversation. But there may be times that you yourself make a mistake. So let's record something talking complete gibberish and see what happens. Sé, no sé, hola, buen día, no entiendo. So some proper gibberish there. Let's see how the AI responds.
Hola, buen día. Parece que tienes dudas o estás confundido. Es normal tener muchas preguntas sobre este tema. ¿Hay algo específico sobre el veganismo o la alimentación que te gustaría entender mejor?
Now, I'm exaggerating here, but nevertheless, we all have moments when we're not quite sure what to say or we make a mistake. So what I can do now is I can click this little pencil button and I will get corrections or suggestions for what I should have said or what I was trying to say instead. So I see what the problem was. I didn't directly answer the question. I get more relevant responses, but I can also click this light bulb button here to get a couple of suggestions of things that I could say if I'm not quite sure how to respond to the question in the first place. Here are two examples. Let's listen to one of them.
Hola, gracias por tu mensaje. Me gustaría saber más sobre cómo obtener todos los nutrientes necesarios siguiendo una dieta vegana.
Maybe we want to see the translation for this one because there's something we don't understand. And then when we like a reply, we can simply click on it to send it and the conversation will continue. But this is really just the beginning of where the learning happens. If there's a word that I don't understand, then what I can do is click on it. I get an instant translation. I can listen to the word.
Clave.
But I can click the plus button then to add it to my bank of vocabulary, my personal vocabulary list. And this is where things get interesting. So let's go over to the build my vocab section and click on flashcards and vocab. And what I'm going to do now, you can see here all of the words that I've been saving, and I can choose an exercise to instantly start to practice that vocabulary. Province. Now, how do I say this? Is it provincia? There we go, I guessed it correctly. You'll be familiar with these kind of flashcards. But then I can continue studying in other ways. So I can click over to podcasts and I can browse some of the many Spanish podcasts out there on the internet. So let's click into the Langua Talk podcast here, Langua Talk Slow Spanish News. I can click into an episode. And what you can see here is that the words are actually flashing up as I'm listening, which helps you follow along with what's being heard and what's being seen.
Nuestra primera historia proviene de Ucrania.
And just like in the conversation with AI earlier, I can click on words, I can add them to my personal bank. And so I'm personalizing my experience and just saving those words that I actually want to remember. But it gets even better because then I can go back to the vocabulary section and I can create a story that's instantly generated using the last, for example, 12 words that I added into my vocabulary bank. And hey presto, right here is our story that's just been written using the words that we've just been looking at. Here's clave, the word that we saved just a second ago. Let's have a quick listen to the story.
Había una vez un famoso compositor llamado Carlos, que provenía de una pequeña aldea en España.
There's more besides. We can click over to videos and we can watch YouTube videos doing exactly the same thing by generating scripts automatically that we can follow along with, which is an incredibly interactive way to learn. But then after all of this, what you can do is go back to the communicate section of Langua and then have the AI ask you questions that mimic conversation that you would have with a real teacher, where you get your vocabulary just brought up naturally in conversation to practice it. So let's practice my recently saved vocabulary.
Hola. Voy a mencionar cada palabra que has guardado recientemente y te haré preguntas relacionadas con ellas. El objetivo es que uses las palabras guardadas en tu respuesta. Desayuno. ¿Qué te gusta comer en la mañana?
So it's taking words that I have already said and asking me questions related to that. So breakfast. What do you like to eat in the morning? Very simple example, but this gets more and more complex depending on the vocabulary that you have been saving. So this really mimics the process of a real language lesson where a good, smart, intelligent teacher will consciously throw in vocabulary items that you've been learning in order to help you repeat them and memorize them. Now, you'll notice that some of the features in Langua are free, whilst other features actually require a subscription, but there is a 30-day guarantee so that you can try Langua and see if it's for you. If you have any issues at all, we have a big help site available, but you can also message us directly for assistance. We also have a feedback page for feature suggestions so that you can help us build Langua into the future. I hope you enjoy learning with Langua.